going to be the one warming everything up. So we are going to be talking about streamlining your live stream. All about systems, right? Yes, we are all. There we go. Social media marketing world, everything is always crazy here, but a lot of fun.
It is. I'm actually not going to be attending all this week. Don't have the time this week.
I don't even have a conference ticket. I'm just going from event to event.
I know. I won't go to happy hour tomorrow, but
This is, I think, off, right?
probably.
Put this away. There we go. So yeah, when I was digging into some numbers and trying to get some stats on that, did you know that actually 80% of people that are buying from a company are more likely to buy because of a live stream rather than a blog post?
Really?
Nobody goes anymore and reads.
No one reads blogs anymore, really.
And it's for SEO, it's to be
Twitter.
discovered.
If it's streaming to social, then I would believe. If it's streaming to also social, yeah, I believe that for sure.
Yeah. But it's like, even on my blog post, I have the video on top. The rest is literally just for the written SEO and to get
Cool. Topped it into Descript and,
Yeah.
and let it write it for you. I know. Hey, automation is, that's why I love it. I know.
I'm like, you already have half of my
know.
tools. Come on in. But yeah, I'm like, the numbers have been really interesting, just diving into how over the last 3 years.
It takes to
Now, were those statistics from one stream? I will find the source of your statistics.
So what they did, I actually went to multiple different researchers. I pulled some numbers from researchers that went more for the gaming as well as more of the branding. But the numbers were the same, anywhere from 70 to 80%. They want to connect. Come on in.
Yeah, cool.
We can take that backpack away right there. We have so much technology everywhere.
There you go. Yes.
Yes.
Bring it in.
How do you hear it with the echo in here?
Your
Nothing's wrong with me, wrong with me. No, I couldn't. No.
So I'm trying, let me see where I can put just the
bottom
camera.
stocks.
Because I'm also live streaming to YouTube right now. So have it right in between you.
I don't mind standing. I'm taller.
So yeah, it's just like live streaming. It's more of a, I actually get to talk to you. I get to connect with you rather than just read. And I'm like, why me? Why am I
Well, I think
actually
it's the live engagement with comments is what makes it
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, you get to talk
Live
to
streaming
somebody.
just on its own, it's just another video, but actually be able to have interaction with comments in real
Yeah.
time, that makes it feel special.
And even onboarding and webinars are going that way where you have the evergreen webinars.
I'm Beth. I just wanted to ask you really quickly, do you want a mic?
Oh, good. It seems like the cluster is pulling itself.
Okay. Oh, this is it's
It's the only way I can hear is if
You are the woman of the hour. You get to
And
come
block
in.
everything out.
I have a hearing loss, so this is.
Oh, I think your audience is growing.
It's getting there. Everybody is getting their coffee. Everybody is starting to wake up. So for the ones who don't know me, I'm Yvonne Hyman with AskMe.com. I'm all about processes and workflows. So how can we automate things? How can we make things simpler? How can we build things? Because 75% of people actually take their phones literally everywhere. I chose the bathtub picture rather than the bathroom picture, but I'm like, really, they literally did a study of
That right there is my
men not putting the phone down and going to the bathroom. I'm like, okay,
That is what something you don't want to hear. Oops.
Yeah.
okay, we'll take the bath picture though. But it's interesting because we are literally plugged in all the time, watching content, no matter if it's TikTok, if it's short form content, if it's long form content. But how can we be online without being online the whole time? That's where our struggle comes in. It's like, okay, we're just one person or maybe a small team. How can we make things happen? And that's where the framework comes in. I call it my SOAR framework, meaning systemizing, optimizing, automating, and then rinse and repeat. And we do that in 3 different areas actually. So I don't just do that in tools, in workflows, We also need to make sure that we work with the right people, we talk the right way to the people, but also in our processes. So we're gonna go through a couple ideas and that big picture idea of how can we streamline our live stream by using my SOAR framework. And when I talk about that, we look into systemizing. You already know, I love my processes and workflows. It's like, okay, can we write an SOP about this and just hand this off?
Yes.
Looking at your processes that are going on when you are live streaming, and by the way, I see you typing, there will be a QR code at the end too with a nice workbook and all of the slides. We will have all of that. So yes, take all the notes, but we have information at the end too.
Yeah, they're having a hard time.
Okay, I'm grabbing the mic.
Serious now.
How does that sound? And I thought I'm loud. Okay, let's do this. So for everybody that might have not realized that, take all the notes you want, but the slides as well as the workbook will be at the end, easy with a QR code for you to download. We will have all of it. So let's jump back to make sure everybody got this piece. There we go. So how do we streamline our live stream by using the SOAR framework, which by the way is applicable to your whole business, not just live streaming. You can cross-reference that to everything that's going on in your business. SOAR framework stands for systemize, optimize, automate, and then we rinse and repeat the whole process to really make everything work nice and easy. We do this within our people, so it doesn't matter if it's you, optimizing yourself, really being at your best, working with your team in a nice manner and not having to micromanage your people. We'll look into all of that, as well as looking at your programs, making sure we are using the right programs, we are connecting them and making everything nice and streamlined. Now, let's look at the first piece. When we are starting out, it's like hit the damn button and just go live, right? That's the first big hurdle, let's be honest. It took me a year to hit the damn button and just go live. When we get to the point of, okay, we have this live streaming thing down, let's take this to the next level. Let's try to actually get clients with it, to use it as a marketing piece, to really shine. And you being your best. You are the one on the camera often enough, more often than not, though. Cute puppies might steal the show, right? We know how that goes. So how can we systemize this process of going live? One of the big pieces is your workflow management. You probably already have a little checklist that says, okay, before I actually go live, I need to make sure this is working, this is working, this is working. That's your workflow. So being able to have an easy checklist and going through this workflow and not using any brain power of, did I do that? Do I have that cable? What's missing? Will help you a lot to not only systemize your workflow, but also yourself. What is your goal with going live? Do you just want to feed off the energy of the people that are watching you, or do you want to turn it into something? Not knowing where you want to take this, where are you going?
I can't hear you. Yeah.
Can we?
Yeah. Just ask them if I can. Yeah.
Hey dog, can you keep it down back there? My ladies can't hear me. We don't have a speaker over there, that's the thing.
If the speaker was facing this way instead
Yeah, it might be.
Okay, where is our... Can we maybe turn the speaker just a little bit this way so the ladies
There
can
you
hear
go.
it?
All right, he just did it.
Perfect. I didn't want to touch it. Not my equipment, I'm not touching it. So one of the big pieces when we systemize things too is what is your goal with going live? Do you just do it to have fun? Cool, hit the button, go live. Do you want to accomplish a goal with it? We need to know this goal. We need to know your destination, or you're just
Sunday stroll with a car. Let's drive a little bit around, let's spend some gas, let's have fun and watch. Which can be your goal, but make sure you know what your goal is, what are you doing this for, so we can really systemize all of this. You probably have heard it. Who are you talking to? Who is your client avatar? We're going to talk about this in just a second because you really want to speak their language too. As well as we've all heard it because Doc is preaching it, Katie is preaching it, and everybody that goes live, your one-off show. Making sure you have your show systemized. Looking at your people. Yes, this is going to sound really fun when I say let's systemize people. We can systemize people. We can systemize people by being able to reach them. There is something out there called the charisma pattern. We all work with information in a different way. We all talk different. Some people are more auditory, some people are more visual, some people are more kinesthetic. When you look up the charisma pattern, your intro will take care of all of that in a nice way and get you in with any type of personality right in the beginning. Your viewer engagement, you know it. How can we make sure our viewership engages with us? That's where your run-off show comes in too. Make sure. I always forget. Like, here's the information. This is what you want to know. Here's the community. Here's this link. Here's. Slow it down. Make sure you have your call to actions in there and you have that engagement piece in your run-off show. Time blocking. Who of you guys actually repurposes your live content? Yes. That's where time blocking comes in. A lot of us, again, hit the damn button. We are going live. It's awesome. I don't have to edit it. I don't have to do anything with it. It's fun. I get to engage. The traffic that I have seen through repurposed content is immense. It drives back to the live shows, to upcoming shows. But time block your own time for that to make sure, hey, Friday mornings, Friday is my catch-up day. Friday mornings, I spend 2 hours literally just in within Descript and Jasper to build my content around it, to get that micro content done. Just time block it, get it on your calendar and get it done. As well as team communication. If you are starting to build your team, that communication piece is a mess. That's where a bottleneck is. So make sure you decide where is team communication happening and how. Is it in your project management system? Is it in Slack? But really be clear about how you are having the communication with your team because that's where most of the time just gets wasted. And how do we systemize our programs? No question, we are using Ecamm to go live, right? Are you multi-streaming? I love Streamer to multi-stream. I already talked about project management, my favorite tool. ClickUp, I'm like, I even got them on my back of my jacket. I'm kind of a fan. As well as Rodium is talked about Descript and Jasper to make it easier for the repurposing piece, as well as Agora polls because that cute feature. Plug it in there and let it go if it's evergreen content. Talking about the optimizing piece. Now, we started systemizing everything. We started building out our workflows. We have little checklists. Don't go too crazy. Literally, a pen and paper checklist will do in the beginning. Start there. Don't overthink it. Don't spend a year trying to go online and then you don't because it's just not where you're at right now. Start with writing checklists down and see where things are happening. Start paying attention where the time goes. That's what we are looking for in the first piece. Where does time go? Where are you getting stuck? Where are you just like, I don't want to do that. That's just, nah, and you just keep pushing it out. Now in the optimizing piece, we are looking at the data we started to collect. Where is the time going? Where can we make things better? And without the getting the data from the streamlining piece, we can't do this. So right in here, when we look at processes, we now look at, okay, we decided where we want to take this live stream, what are we doing with it? How is our promo gonna look like? Where are we going? So how am I getting that person to that goal? Are we using email funnels? Are we using messenger bots? So how can I promote the stuff that I want to promote? Viewer retention. We get analytics. So diving into those analytics, figuring out the viewer retention, what speaks to them, what doesn't speak to them, as well as your repurposing campaign. Again, if it's evergreen content, if it's fine, build your repurposing campaign and then set it into evergreen and have it repeat every few weeks and build up your content library. That you then can take into some advertising.
I have a question. You
Yeah.
have on there promo funnels.
Yes.
Now, as far as when you're starting out, like I'm switching industries right now, so I'm essentially going to have to start over. So,
Give me one second. Ladies, can you hear her?
Just repeat the question.
okay. So when you're starting out,
At what point in time, I know you've got to kind of get into the rhythm of things and get your workflow. At what point in time do you start kind of deciding that you work yourself into promo funnels? Because, I understand that the repurposing is probably in the earlier stage. And then once you get to promo funnels and have to learn that whole new skill set of how to do that and put that into your workflow, how long would you say do you give yourself until you kind of add one additional thing to your workflow?
God, I wish there was an easy answer for that. Matters how you look at promo funnels. A promo funnel can be as easy as, hey, next live show is coming up next Thursday. It can be the next level of you have a Facebook bot running that automatically reminds your viewers of, hey, next live show is coming up. So I would be working in stages from something simple as start with the reminders. Start using affiliate links. We all know everybody uses affiliate links. Start bringing those in because those are easy additions without having a full-on hard sale promo funnel. Once you are getting comfortable with that and that's all working, you can get into those full-on promo funnels of you are producing content specifically based on a product you are going to sell or something, where you have 4 live streams that are specifically focused to that one target market that you want to target with your offer, having it followed up by an email sequence, and it's like it can be a full-on promo funnel for the next quarter. So grow into it. Start easy, start plugging in a couple of things, getting used to promoting your live show, then going a little bit farther into, okay, let's get them on an email list so they actually can get a monthly newsletter roundup, and then go into a full-on advertising promo campaign. Just grow with it, go piece by piece.
I just wondered if you had any suggestions for when we first start repurposing content, what would be the most simple place, like Reels or Facebook Stories, or what would you suggest?
So where I started is, first off, I am mostly recorded, but again, if I record my YouTube video or go live, it's the same thing. I have an amazing video editor who goes in, and I love it because she has not seen my content before. She watches it and is like, oh, this makes sense. This is a good piece, I didn't know that. And goes in and repurposes my video in the story format, and we take that. So that's where I would start, really, with those snippets. So look at your camera angle. We always try to have a fairly wide camera angle so that it doesn't look too squished when you are putting it into the story format. So that's where I would start. Or even just use T-script. Afterwards, make it in a square repurposing piece and put it on your regular feed. There's a couple of pieces where you can start easily. With the optimizing piece, yes, we can optimize people. We already talked about really getting the right language. I know I'm nerdy. I know once in a while I throw some stuff out there with my German accent where it's like, okay, I hope this is just cute and doesn't sound too weird. But really finding that language. Who is your target audience? Do we need to change our Ecamm live craziness into just plain simple English? Not everybody is quite as nerdy as we are. But also internally, when you start to work with a team, really optimize your team by going for their values. Where do they want to go? What are their goals? How do their goals align with our goals? So that's how we can optimize people. Sounds bad, optimizing, but it's what it is. Making them happy makes us happy, helps us all, right? And then building those relationships, you all know it, really getting those connections with your audience. And again, using the charisma pattern means they are more open to actually listening to you and working with you. Optimizing your programs. Just like when Doc tells us to buy that camera, do you really need it?
My bank account doesn't. But
Just like that new microphone that I have on my phone, I had to have that. Look through your tech stack. Often enough, I'm one of those people that buys lifetime deals. I need to literally go through and have a database of what do I actually have. So go through, clean it out. What are you really using? The best tool is the one you actually use, no matter how many people tell you it's the perfect tool. If you're not using it, it doesn't help you any. Scaling that down, making that easy is going to make your process way, way easier. But also upgrading. There's automations we can use. Is there an app that can do that for us? And now the magic starts to happen when we talk about automating things. I will be mentioning the show that I did with Ecamm Fast Forward, where you can literally look into this process of speaker management. Some of us go live by ourselves, some of us bring on speakers. That's a whole bunch of asset and people management. We can automate that. We can automate that. And we do have a show on that one. As well as email marketing, we talked about this earlier, your promo funnel. Do you have your email list? We all know social media can shut us down at any given time. Get those people in your email list, nurture them, take them out just of the live show and give them more information. As well as automating your admin work and your asset management. I have a lot of resources on this with your thumbnails, with your images, with your repurposing content. How can we make sure that asset management is easy, right naming conventions, and automate it?
that's where I struggle. Asset management.
Automate it. Especially, so one of the pieces, I can send you the YouTube video that I did on that. On the asset management automation specifically, I use Google Drive with ClickUp, and we have automated the generation of a folder for each episode with subfolders, and then the submission of the thumbnails as well as video.
Wow, I love
Full on automation on that, so it's on my YouTube channel. I'll get you that link too. It's not in the QR code, so I'll get you that. Automating people. Meaning, again, we are coming back to really speaking their language, because then you don't have that barrier trying to, why should I listen to you? The moment you speak their language and you speak to how they think and process information, you already have gone way past that barrier. Task management, time estimation. Who of you have done the, oh yeah, this is just going to take me 5 minutes and suddenly the day is gone? I think we all have done that. Really starting to pay attention and guesstimate your time up front and start tracking it. It is a pain initially, but it will help you, and it will help you really then outsource, meaning we are taking the time we thought it's taking, we are then tracking how much it's really taking, as well as building the standard operating procedures with it. I will have an outline for you for an SOP to start them easy. Again, we want to keep it nice and easy. We don't want to have a handbook that nobody ever looks at. Nice and easy. And then we look at automating for programs. Some of them are already mentioned. We are talking about native integrations often, so sometimes tools connect with each other. We don't have to do anything about it. We have Zapier, Integromat, who is now Make. They changed their name. Integrately, that is the automation that I use for the asset management. Your messenger bot, or something as simple as a scheduler. I'm in my email and I just spent the last 15 minutes emailing 3 times 4 and back just to set up a speaker for a recording. Have a scheduler ready. Have a scheduler where you say, okay, there's just appointments every Thursday morning to record with speakers, that's it, and have them choose their own spot. It can be this simple. Now going through this process, I know this sounds a lot, there's a lot going on. Choose one process, go through the process, and then what I say is rinse and repeat. Meaning, how many shows are you doing? Do we need to look at this process again within the next quarter? Do we need to look at it within 6 months? Or are we re-evaluating this process again within a year? Things change. We know how often Ecamm updates. We know how often a new MacBook comes out, right? So you want to have a task in your task management that says, we need to recheck this. Make sure you are going through and rinse and repeat. And now the fun starts. How do we future-proof your business and your live stream? Play through the idea of, okay, so what would happen if I triple up my live stream? I go from a monthly show to a daily show. Where would things break? What would not work? Where would that bottleneck be of, I can't handle it? Is it people? Is it programs? Is it your live stream? Is it your hardware? Really play through this idea and go crazy. Quadruple whatever you are looking at. What is if you suddenly have 8,000 viewers? How do they convert? Can you handle that in your funnel? Really play through that and future-proof what you are doing. That play will show you where things are breaking. And now you can go back and say, I need to systemize that to be able to handle that traffic. Make sense? Now we got a couple of pieces to make life easier for you. Taking your live stream into business, there's only 2 things you really care about. One is growth, one is fulfillment. So you will have this workbook to figure out what do we need to do, what are the pieces. So when we are growing, who do I want to build relationships with? Who do I want to be exposed to? How do I bring in leads? So I have that in the workbook ready for you. This speaks to your moneymaker. So when you're ready to turn your live stream into money, how do you get the attention of the people that want to buy from you? How do they get a hold of you? Keep this simple. If they are messaging you on Facebook, send them to email. Have it into one spot so you don't have to be everywhere. What is the sales process? How are you turning them from, hey, I want to work with you, to here's my money, down to how do you bring them back? This is a warm lead. The moment they are here, they're an easy comeback. Make sure you have something in place for them to come back to. SOPs, again, I will have a QR code in the next slide for you. You can get this. This is an easy layout for your SOP that we have tested and people actually use. It's not like a handbook that thick and nobody ever looks at it. And there is the QR code. So when you scan this in, you're going to end up on my link page. There is the Ecamm slides on there, as well as the workbook and the fast forward series I did with Ecamm. We walked through a lot of these processes, showcasing exactly how to do a lot of those things, and it's all right on there.
Let me guess, I totally went over on time. Too much fun. Can you reach it? Do you want me to make it bigger?
I just zoomed in. I've got it.
I can't find my mouse. Everybody was able to scan it?
Where are you based out of?
San Diego.
Oh, you are? I never know who's here. Like, I didn't know that Jen was here. Like, I had no idea you were based out of here.
I'm live streaming from my phone. There we go.